Hey Charles, I've been wanting to get a stage 1 flash tune on my car for some time now, but can't decide if it was okay or not because of my higher mileage. I have an '07 GTI with almost 120,000 miles. Let me know your thoughts and thank you so much. Love all your videos and keep up the amazing work. Normally I cut that end off, but Matthew, thanks for the kind words, man. I really do appreciate that. So, tuning a high mile GTI. Before we put one performance part on this car, Matthew, timing belt. Get it done. Get it done. You're about to anyway, but if you haven't had a timing belt done, do it immediately. Now, next step, what we need to do is we need to evaluate the health of the engine, right? We can do things like a compression test, a leak down test, and see if our cylinders are even. Boy, we can do all kinds of stuff. Visual inspection really is going to be your friend here. Do we have any leaking oil? Do we have any coolant hoses that are maybe showing wear? Do we have a boost leak that's so small that maybe we're not tripping a check engine light? We want to make sure this engine is as healthy as it can possibly be before we start trying to make it go faster than it already does. So we want to, again, timing belt. We might want to pull the high pressure fuel pump and inspect the high pressure fuel pump lobe or follower, the follower for the high pressure fuel pump. There we go, Charles. And see what that looks like. And honestly, if you're going to take it out, just put another one in. But we can inspect the camshaft as well and see if there's any wear on the lobe. Basically, my point with this is you can modify a high mile car. I don't have any problem with that because it's not really much different than a moderately miled up car, right? If this car had 60,000 miles, we would be having almost the exact same conversation that we're having now. The only difference is I wouldn't be harping on the timing belt nearly as much at 60 as I would at 120. We want to make sure this car is as healthy as possible, not only just in the engine, running as good as we can possibly get it before we put a tune on it. We also want to make sure that everything else is okay. What do our brakes look like? What does our suspension look like? Do we have busted axle boots? And this extra torque is going to cause more stress on the entire car. We're going to run into more problems, period. A good guideline is you're going to always run into more problems on a modified car than you are on a stock car for the most part. Once we get in and start tinkering and tweaking and doing things, it's generally more stress on the car. We lower a car, it's going to be more stress on it. We put bigger brakes on it, it may be more stress on it. So think with that mindset that anything I do is probably going to cause more stress. This is okay, right? It's not a horrible thing, but we just want to be aware of that when we modify cars. They tend to require a little more attention than maybe a stock car would necessarily. So go through your entire car, not just the engine. We want to start there. We want to make sure it's healthy. Timing belt, spark plugs, you name it, all the maintenance stuff. Fuel filter, air filter, put a pollen filter in it. Do a brake flush. Make sure all that stuff is good. Make sure our tires are good. Make sure our suspension is good, our brakes are good before we start modifying cars. But dude, if your car is in good shape, rock and roll, go to it. I feel even more comfortable on a car with a manual transmission than I would necessarily a DSG. One of the reasons why I haven't done anything with my Passat is it's an automatic. One, I'm not going to get a whole lot out of, let's say, tuning it like you're doing. Not nearly what you're going to get from your GTI. But two, I worry about the stress on the transmission. Manual transmission, I'm not worried about it. Worst case for the most part is I'm going to put a clutch in it and a release bearing. And at some point that turns into a maintenance job anyway, so I'm not worried about that. A DSG, I'm a little more worried about, but not really. I would probably still go and do it. Remember that stage 1 is not stage 3 plus, right? We're not putting a turbocharger this big on the car and hoping to get 600 horsepower out of it. We're just tweaking our numbers a little bit, changing our engine management strategy, and squeaking out a little bit more power. Personally, I don't know how you've driven the car this long without a tune on it because it's just night and day difference on your car between tuned and untuned. I'm just kind of kidding with you here because that would be my first drive if I bought a GTI is immediately to go get it tuned. But man, that's a great question. Again, make sure that all of the maintenance is up to date. Everything is in tip-top shape before we start putting these go fast parts on. And understand that the more we modify our car, the more reliability tends to go down, the more maintenance and attention the car really is going to need to make sure that it stays healthy.